Okay, I'm here with Sharon Sidney. Good morning.
Good morning.
We're downtown at the LA courthouse waiting on the trial of Michael Jackson to begin. And it's my understanding that you were at the property at 100 North Carolwood on the morning of June 25th, 2009. Maybe you can tell us a little bit about your experience and what happened that morning.
Yes, that's correct. I was there that morning. I was waiting outside with a friend of mine. I've been trying to check on him to see what all was going on. His security had been acting highly suspicious. There was a series of events that had me puzzled, and that particular morning was no different. One of the security officers approached us sitting in the vehicle, was very irate, hostile, unlike Michael's security. Because
was that Eric by any chance? He was in a silver pickup?
I don't know his name. He had not been Michael's security for long.
Right.
And
because I know that Eric was hired like days prior to all of this, and he was very abrupt with the fans.
He's a tall gentleman, black male. Very tall, broad shoulders.
I don't know his height, actually.
All right, I'm not certain of his name.
Okay, continue.
He essentially came and he was very rude, hostile, and at one point he left and he had a suitcase in his hand, and he came back sometime later, and the whole thing with him is Michael's security people, they're hired and they know to be polite with people that come to his house, you know. Public fans, be nice, be polite. He wasn't acting like that. He was acting like Michael had no control. Like this was something, you know, he was doing, and I think he participated in taking Michael away, and I don't think Michael was murdered. I think he was kidnapped.
Okay.
Went to the jury hearings, and Eyewitness, the ambulance driver, claimed that he knew it was Michael in the ambulance because he could clearly see his face. And that's not true, because when I followed the ambulance to the hospital, well, first
now
of all,
that wasn't Senoff, correct? It was the other gentleman.
Was Mr. Blount.
Right. He was the second paramedic.
If I'm pronouncing that correct.
That was on the case.
He was a black male, and he wore an ambulance. His uniform looked similar to a police officer's. And when I went to the hospital, literally like heart racing, not knowing what was going on, jumped out of the vehicle, rushed over. As I rushed over, the paramedics were taking the stretcher inside. The security guard was screaming.
Did you happen to see who was on the stretcher?
I could see the stretcher. I could see the length of the body on the stretcher, and at that point, I knew it wasn't Michael's children.
Wait, you knew it wasn't Michael's?
Following the ambulance to the hospital, I knew it had to be Michael or his children, because else his security people wouldn't be rushing out that way and so forth.
Right.
So seeing the body on the stretcher, seeing them rolling a body in the stretcher, at that point I knew it was not Michael Jackson. That's children.
Okay.
I presume it was Michael Jackson. However, I was so puzzled at that moment, and it didn't click in my head and register later because of the series of events that follow. But the length of the body did not look like Michael Jackson.
Right, because the height wasn't there.
Yeah, but everything that took place
was his face covered?
Made me think it was him. Well, the people had jackets up. You know, they're trying to block
I recall the photograph.
They're trying to block his face.
And I was actually there at UCLA, but I didn't get around to the side where they actually took him in. Okay, so...
The security guy who was at the house also, at that point, he'd come back and he was at the hospital. He's screaming, get back, get back. And I presume there are media people behind me. At one point he said, if you don't leave, at some point he was saying, get back or I'm going to have you arrested. And he was looking beyond me. And he told me at one point, if I didn't leave, he'd have me arrested too.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, and that was at UCLA
that was
that morning.
That's correct. That's correct.
Wow.
And I was actually trying to get them to speak with Michael's dad, because they had not spoken to his family.
Right. Well, his dad was in Las Vegas at the time, wasn't he?
I'm not sure where he was at. I did speak to him. I'm the one who called him on the phone and let him know what was taking place. And
because he never made it to UCLA.
To speak to him, and they wouldn't take the call. They hadn't notified him
on the phone.
What was taking place.
Right.
Correct.
Wow. Okay. So at this point, like, what is your feeling on the whole thing outside of him being kidnapped? You believe he's alive, which I do as well.
I believe he's alive. I believe, one of the things that made a significant, okay, I'm not going crazy difference to me, was when the Michael CD was released. There was a song that was written on the back of lyrics that...
Which song are you referring to?
The song Best of Joy.
Best of Joy,
was
right.
written on the back of a to-do list. The fans had given Michael a series of notes.
Right,
a bunch of
I
notes.
understand, yes.
And,
the night before, wasn't it?
On June 24th.
Yes, okay.
And one of the notes the fans had written, one of the people had written, was on a to-do list. And that particular to-do list, he wrote song lyrics on, and it showed up on...
the album.
It's not inside the album,
right.
but it showed up on the internet as part of promotions for the album. 2 separate sheets of the letter that was written.
Okay.
And it just seems like, he's reaching out.
Right, to his fans.
Reach out for help or to comfort his fans. But there's no way whatsoever he could have recorded that song that night. There was not a studio in the house. And Murray was supposedly, or apparently, I don't know, he probably was drugging him all night. But to write that song that night and get it out, it's not possible.
Right.
There was no studio.
Right. Okay, well, there's a crowd forming over here.
Big crowd.
And this is going to be a big day to see what opens up and what happens here in the court. And again, I appreciate you talking to us here at Mjhoaxlive, and we all do hope and pray that Michael is safe and that justice is served today. And thank you, Sharon, for your time.
Yeah, Michael, he's for a long time gotten involved with a series of unscrupulous people, and I don't know to what lengths they go, but I firmly believe he's alive. I hope the family does DNA testing. I hope people with the courts would realize, that something more has happened. I've tried reporting things to the police department. I've spoken to the detective, the head detective in the case, as well as to the prosecutor. And
no response?
No response. Well, yeah, there are things that have happened at my house that leave me curious if someone's trying to shut me up, but
right.
beyond that.
Wow, okay. All right.
My neighbors let me know someone's tried to break in my house, and our gate's been tampered with, and stuff in my car and things like that.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, well, be safe.
All right.
And thank you again for your time.
You're welcome.
And I guess we'll get going.
All right. God bless.
God bless you.
Thank you.